Welcome to Fluency Game. My name is Daniel, and I will be your guide in this journey toward confident communication. Let's talk about prepositions today. Prepositions of place are small words that show the position of a person or object in relation to another. They are essential for describing real situations in English and are used every day in conversations. Without prepositions, your sentences sound confusing or incomplete. With them, your English becomes clear and natural. Words like on, under, next to, behind, between, in front of, above help you describe the location of things around you. In this first scene, we are in a home office. Imagine this room in front of you. There is a desk, a chair, a bookshelf, a clock on the wall, a plant, a backpack, and some work materials. We will describe this scene using prepositions of place. Listen carefully, repeat after me, and visualize each position. Let's start with the most basic preposition, on. We use on when something is touching the surface of another object. Now observe. The laptop is on the desk. The laptop is not under the desk. It is not behind the desk. It is on the desk, touching the surface. Say it with me. The laptop is on the desk. Now another example. The notebook is on the desk. The notebook is also touching the surface of the desk. Repeat. The notebook is on the desk. One more. The red cup is on the desk. Simple and clear. Now, let's practice next to. We use next to when something is close to another item, on one side of it. Look at the desk again. The notebook is next to the laptop. They are side by side. Repeat. The notebook is next to the laptop. And look again. The cup is next to the notebook. Repeat. The cup is next to the notebook. Next, we move to the preposition under. We use under to describe something below another object, in a lower position. Under the desk, we can see a trash bin. Repeat. The trash bin is under the desk. It is not in front of the desk. It is not next to the desk. It is clearly under it. Now let's use behind. We use behind when something is at the back of another object, not immediately visible from the front. In this scene, the backpack is behind the chair. Repeat. The backpack is behind the chair. Now, let's use between. We use between when something is in the middle of two other things. Look at the small green plant. Its position is between the desk and the bookshelf. Repeat. The plant is between the desk and the bookshelf. Between always connects two things. Another useful preposition is above. We use above when something is at a higher level than another object, but not touching it. On the wall, there is a clock above the desk. Repeat. The clock is above the desk. Now, let's describe more details for deeper practice. The chair is in front of the desk. The bookshelf is on the left of the desk. The plant is on the floor next to the desk. There is a picture frame on the wall. The pen is inside the pencil holder. Let's repeat everything again with rhythm and clarity. The laptop is on the desk. The notebook is next to the laptop. The cup is on the desk. The trash bin is under the desk. The backpack is behind the chair. The plant is between the desk and the bookshelf. The clock is above the desk. The chair is in front of the desk. The bookshelf is on the left of the desk. Now, let's build natural English descriptions. This is my home office. My laptop is on the desk, and my notebook is next to it. There is a cup on the desk because I like to drink coffee while I work. The trash bin is under the desk. Behind my chair, there is a backpack. I keep my books on the bookshelf, and the plant is between the desk and the shelf. The clock is above the desk so I can see the time. This is real English. Simple, clear, useful. Now you understand how to use prepositions to describe a scene. In the next block, we will move to the bedroom scene and learn new examples in context. Are you ready to continue? Now, let's move to the second scene, the bedroom. A bedroom is full of useful objects we can describe using prepositions of place. Look at the image carefully and follow each sentence with attention. Listen and repeat to train your pronunciation and memory. Let's begin with on again, because it is one of the most common prepositions in English. We use on when something is resting on the surface of something else. In this scene, there is a teddy bear on the bed. Repeat after me. The teddy bear is on the bed. There is also a pillow on the bed. Repeat. The pillow is on the bed. Now, let's use under. The preposition under is used when something is below another object. Look below the bed. There are shoes under the bed. Repeat. The shoes are under the bed. You cannot say on the bed or in the bed. The correct position is under because they are below the bed. Next, we use next to. In the bedroom, there is a bedside table next to the bed. Repeat. The bedside table is next to the bed. On the bedside table, there is an alarm clock. Repeat. The alarm clock is on the bedside table. So now we connect both ideas. The alarm clock is on the bedside table next to the bed. Now let's use above. Above means something is higher than another object but not touching it. In this bedroom, there is a picture above the bed. Repeat. The picture is above the bed. Now look at the bench in the room. The position of the bench is in front of the bed. Repeat. The bench is in front of the bed. We use in front of when something is located directly ahead of another object. Look behind the bed now. We can see a window. That means the window is behind the bed. Repeat. The window is behind the bed. Now let's include two more useful prepositions, in and between. If we look inside the room, we can also describe things like, there is a lamp in the corner of the room, and if the lamp is in the middle of two things, we can say, the lamp is between the bed and the window. Now let's repeat everything slowly, step by step. The teddy bear is on the bed. The pillow is on the bed. The shoes are under the bed. The bedside table is next to the bed. The alarm clock is on the bedside table. The picture is above the bed. The bench is in front of the bed. The window is behind the bed. The lamp is between the bed and the window. Now I will describe the scene naturally in complete sentences. Listen and follow the structure. This is a bedroom. There is a bed in the center of the room. There is a teddy bear on the bed and shoes under the bed. The bedside table is next to the bed, and there is an alarm clock on it. There is a picture above the bed and a bench in front of it. The window is behind the bed, and a tall lamp is between the bed and the window. This is how you describe a room using clear and simple English. You are not translating, you are thinking in English by using visual information. In the next block, we will move to the kitchen scene, where we will continue building your vocabulary and your understanding of prepositions. Let's keep going. Now, let's move to the third scene, the kitchen. The kitchen is a perfect place to practice prepositions of place because it has many small objects. We will continue building clear and useful sentences to describe real situations. Look carefully at the image. Start by noticing the main objects: a table, a chair, a cat, a plate with an apple, a microwave, a cabinet, a sink, and a rug. We will describe everything using prepositions. Let's begin with on again. There is a plate on the table. Repeat. The plate is on the table. There is also an apple on the plate. Repeat. The apple is on the plate. These are simple but important sentences. Now let's use under. Under means something is below another object. In this kitchen, there is a cat under the table. Repeat. The cat is under the table. It is not next to the table. It is not behind the table. It is clearly under the table. Now we use next to. The chair is next to the table. Repeat. The chair is next to the table. You can also say, the chair is beside the table. Both expressions are correct. Let's use on again, but in a different part of the kitchen. Look at the counter. There is a microwave on the counter. Repeat. The microwave is on the counter. The microwave is not inside the counter or behind the counter. It is on the counter. Now, let's use above. Above means in a higher position but not touching. On the wall above the counter, there is a cabinet. So we say, the cabinet is above the counter. Repeat, the cabinet is above the counter. Now, let's use in. Look at the sink. Inside the sink, we see a spoon. So we say, the spoon is in the sink. Repeat, the spoon is in the sink. Let's use in front of. In front of means something is located ahead of another object. There is a rug in front of the counter. Repeat, the rug is in front of the counter. Now let's repeat everything step by step. The plate is on the table. The apple is on the plate. The cat is under the table. The chair is next to the table. The microwave is on the counter. The cabinet is above the counter. The spoon is in the sink. The rug is in front of the counter. Now, listen to a short description of this scene. This is a kitchen. There is a table in the center with a plate on it. There is an apple on the plate. A cat is under the table. A chair is next to the table. Behind the table, there is a counter with a microwave on it. There is a cabinet above the counter. The spoon is in the sink, and there is a rug in front of the counter. This is real English, using real objects. You are not just learning vocabulary, you are learning how to describe the world around you. In the next block, we will move to the living room scene. There, we will continue using prepositions of place with new examples and more natural sentences. Let's continue. Now we continue with the fourth scene, the living room. This room is full of objects placed in different positions, making it perfect to practice more prepositions of place in context. Look carefully at the image and follow each sentence slowly. In the center of the room, there is a sofa. On the sofa, we can see yellow pillows. So we say, the pillows are on the sofa. Repeat that. The pillows are on the sofa. We use on because the pillows are touching the surface of the sofa. Now look at the coffee table. The coffee table is in front of the sofa. Repeat after me. The coffee table is in front of the sofa. This means it is directly ahead of the sofa. On the coffee table, there are books. So we also say, the books are on the coffee table. Now look at the blue ball on the floor. The ball is in front of the sofa too. So we can say, the ball is in front of the sofa. Let's repeat. The ball is in front of the sofa. Now, on the right side of the sofa, there is a lamp. The lamp is on top of a small side table. So we say, the lamp is on the table. And we can also say, the table is next to the sofa. Repeat both sentences. The lamp is on the table. The table is next to the sofa. Now look at the plant. The plant is next to the sofa on the left side. So we say, the plant is next to the sofa. Repeat. Now look at the picture on the wall. It is above the sofa. Repeat. The picture is above the sofa. We use above because it is on a higher level than the sofa, but not touching it. Now look at the big window. The window is behind the plant. Repeat. The window is behind the plant. Behind means something is at the back of another object. Let's review all sentences from this scene. The pillows are on the sofa. The books are on the coffee table. The coffee table is in front of the sofa. The ball is in front of the sofa. The table is next to the sofa. The lamp is on the table. The plant is next to the sofa. The picture is above the sofa. The window is behind the plant. Now I will describe the scene naturally. This is a living room. There is a sofa in the center of the room, and there are pillows on it. The coffee table is in front of the sofa, and there are books on the table. A blue ball is also in front of the sofa on the floor. On the right side, there is a lamp on a small table next to the sofa. On the left, there is a tall green plant next to the sofa. There is a picture above the sofa and a window behind the plant. This is how you bring English to life, by describing real scenes with simple and clear sentences. You are training your brain to think and see in English. In the next block, we will go to the final scene, the classroom. There, you will see how prepositions help you describe school and study environments. After that, we will connect everything in a full review to make sure you remember and can use these sentences. Let's keep going. Now, let's move to the final scene, the classroom. Classrooms are great for learning prepositions because there are many objects we can describe based on their position. Look carefully at the image and follow each example step by step. Let's begin with the teacher's desk. On the desk, there are books and a pencil holder. So we say, the books are on the desk and the pencil holder is on the desk. Repeat both sentences. The books are on the desk. The pencil holder is on the desk. We use on again because the objects are touching the surface. Now let's look at the globe. The globe is next to the desk. Repeat. The globe is next to the desk. It is not on the desk. It is not behind the desk. It is next to the desk, on the right side. Now look at the student desks. There is a backpack under one of the desks. Repeat. The backpack is under the desk. The position is under because it is below the desk on the floor. Next, let's use behind. In this scene, the large green chalkboard is behind the teacher's desk. Repeat after me. The chalkboard is behind the desk. Now we will use above, which means in a higher position but not touching. Above the chalkboard, there is a clock. So we say, the clock is above the chalkboard. Repeat. There is also a map above the chalkboard, slightly to the left. Repeat. The map is above the chalkboard. Now, let's describe the laptop. On the teacher's desk, there is also a laptop. So we say, the laptop is on the desk. Now, let's review everything step by step. The books are on the desk. The pencil holder is on the desk. The globe is next to the desk. The backpack is under the student desk. The chalkboard is behind the desk. The clock is above the chalkboard. The map is above the chalkboard. The laptop is on the desk. Let me now describe the full scene. This is a classroom. There is a teacher's desk at the front of the room. On the desk, there are books, a pencil holder, and a laptop. Next to the desk, there is a globe. Behind the desk, there is a large chalkboard. Above the chalkboard, there is a map and a clock. In front of the teacher's desk, there are two student desks, and a backpack is under one of them. These simple sentences are powerful because they help you describe real situations. You now know how to use some of the most important prepositions in English: on, under, next to, behind, in front of, between, above, in. You have now learned how to use some of the most important prepositions of place in English by describing real situations from everyday environments. Instead of memorizing grammar rules, you learned through context, using real examples from a home office, a bedroom, a kitchen, a living room, and a classroom. This is how English becomes natural when you learn it connected to real life. Thank you for staying with me through this lesson. Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, English is not learned in one day. It is learned every day.